What's up, everyone? Here, Billy here on the Patriot Cast today. I'm joined by Pats today. Zach,
How's it
he's on
going, everyone?
Instagram.
Yep.
He's on Instagram. Where can we find all your work?
Yeah. Instagram is right there next to my name, pats.today. And then X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, it's NE like New England, NE Patriots today.
You can find my work on Instagram, Patriot Focus, or Twitter, Patriot Focus. Try to stay on Instagram, but sometimes I go on Twitter. So today we will be discussing the Pats versus Dolphins preview, Week 12. And we'll be discussing the recap of the Pats vs. Rams, which was an interesting one. Didn't come down with the win, but we learned, I guess. Barmore came back, defensive tackle, hasn't played all year since January, so it's fun to see him back on the field. Drake May, debatably one of his best games, statistically. I don't know what was going on, probably just miscommunication. That's what we've heard on that last throw to Demario Douglas. But again, he's a rookie, so you're gonna get bad times, you're gonna get good times, but he's still developing, and I think eventually he'll be the best quarterback in this class. Based off how Caleb Williams is doing, not doing very well. But yeah, again, it was just a tough loss to see. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. It was encouraging at times and it was heartbreaking at times. I mean, defense had their highs and their lows. They got that stop at the end right when they needed to. But other than that, they really did have some very low lows. Jonathan Jones had a pretty poor game other than that last drive where he came up with some really good coverage to force a punt. And other than that, like you you don't want to see a performance like that from this defense. Christian Gonzalez locked down Demarcus Robinson. Whoop-de-doo. Uh,
Yeah.
don't put him on Cooper Kupp. Don't put him on Puka Nacua. Keep him on Demarcus Robinson. And that's really what kind of uh, did it for the Patriots was Cooper Kupp had an incredible game. Puka Nacua had an incredible game. Matthew Stafford had an incredible game. And when one or two of those guys are always open and Stafford is firing to the level that he was firing last Sunday, it's going to be very difficult to win football games. If they had Gonzo covering Cooper Kupp 100% of the time or Puka Nacua, I think that game could have ended differently. Not that Demarcus Robinson is a bad receiver. He is a top tier wide receiver 3, but at the end of the day, he's a wide receiver 3. He's no Cooper Kupp, he's no Puka Nacua. Offensively, they had their times where things were clicking. Uh, Obviously scored to put it back to a one possession game towards the end, but then unable to connect, get to the end zone on that last drive. As you mentioned, Drake May with that interception. They had been saying it was a miscommunication, which I'm sure it was. Demario Douglas didn't look back for the ball on that cut, but either way, the ball looked a little bit high. Looked like he probably would have sailed it over a tiny bit, maybe catchable, but a very difficult catch. But that's gonna happen. Drake May is a rookie quarterback, and no player, whether they're a rookie or a 20-year veteran, is perfect. They're gonna miss some throws. They're gonna miscommunicate. Uh, whatever it may be, they're not perfect. But Drake May, just want to see him kind of clean up on those mistakes that have been pretty costly. Uh,
Mm.
I mean, obviously the accuracy has been there 95% of the time on those deep throws, but there have been those times where it's like, why are you throwing that? Or why is that ball kind of sailing over the receiver? Why are you throwing it at the time that you're throwing it? Things of that nature that he can clean up. Just they're gonna happen. Again, he's a rookie, and again, nobody's perfect, but you just do want to see that get fixed at least as much as it can be.
Yeah, all that's I agree with all that. I'm gonna start with the defense, where you started with Puka Nakua and Christian Gonzalez. It just doesn't make any sense, especially because they're going man to man all game. I kind of looked at it in the big picture. I looked at experience, and I was like, all right, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Jones, both experienced cornerbacks, but then Puka Nakua drafted last year, and
Mhm.
Gonzo was drafted last year, who didn't play a whole lot last year, but he has experience, and he has the same amount of experience as Puka, I guess.
Yeah.
So it I don't understand why he was on Puka, why he was not on Puka or Cooper Cup. He was on Demarcus Robinson, like you mentioned. At the end of the game, Cup and Puka combined for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's gonna have to give it to them. They played great. Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford's a rookie or a veteran quarterback who definitely saw that Gonzo's covering Demarcus Robinson, our wide receiver 3. So this will make Cup and Puka open most of the time, especially with Jonathan Jones playing the way he was.
Yeah.
But the other Jones, Marcus Jones, playing offense, I liked it. I liked we could use him as a decoy. We could use him. He has a speed. But I think what's funny about this is AVP, he didn't even know he played offense.
Yeah, that's bad.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like on this podcast, I just hate AVP. I don't like his play calling. I just don't like him as an offensive coordinator. I don't think he's setting us up to win games, and I don't. He has a good play calls. The Vidarian Low, putting in Vidarian Low
Mm.
and getting that passing touchdown with him, and then Marcus Jones putting him in. But Marcus Jones had to go to AVP and tell him, like, I'm just,
Yeah. Uh,
ugh,
in my opinion, that is more of an issue that I think that should be more so blamed on Gerard Mayo
yeah, he's
or
a head
on
coach.
Tyler Hughes,
Mhm,
who AVP wasn't here 2 years ago
yeah,
when or, last year, 2 years ago when Marcus Jones was playing offense. Marcus Jones had those explosive plays. Sure, AVP's in the organization now, but there is not much of a reason for him to go back to 2022 and watch
that's
Patriots
true.
film.
Yeah,
It's a completely different team now than it was 2 years ago. So, with that being said, AVP doesn't know Marcus Jones plays offense. How and why does Gerard Mayo not tell him that? How or why does Tyler Hughes, who was on that 2022 staff, not tell him that? That is something that, in my opinion, the blame should not necessarily go to AVP. Maybe a little bit for not having that information in the back of his mind, or even I saw somebody pointing out, how can you see Marcus Jones returning punts and not think to yourself, maybe we should give this guy a shot on offense every once in a while?
mhm.
Like, I can understand that aspect of it, but I think 90 to 95% of the blame should really be on Gerard Mayo or Tyler Hughes for not even mentioning that at all in the last 6 months or however long it's been for Alex Van Pelt here in New England.
Yeah. Now that you bring up that point, that makes more sense. It doesn't make me like AVP anymore, but um,
That's
like
fair.
I
I
said,
mean,
he has good calls. He has good calls, but he also has some terrible calls, and um, maybe Marcus Jones playing offense is new to him, but like a third down and 5, and you're running the ball, that's not really new to him. And just the times that he runs, I just disagree with.
yeah.
Um, and we have a good run game. Like we just don't utilize them very well.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, he's a first year play caller, and I think that his play calling has gotten significantly better over these last couple of weeks
Yeah,
than
yeah,
it was earlier in the season, and part of that is him being able to open the playbook up more. I mean, when Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback and when the O line wasn't looking, I mean, it's still not looking that good, but I would say the O line the first few weeks was looking worse than it is now. Uh,
yeah. It got much
he
better.
he was much more limited in what he was able to call as an offensive play caller. I think now these last couple of weeks it's opened up a bit, not only from having Drake May in, but also getting Drake May more assimilated into the offense, uh, having him be more comfortable in the offense, and again just expanding on that. So I do see what you're saying, and look, the first quarter, I guess maybe the first half of the season, I'd probably completely agree with you, or probably would have. Uh, I do think that it has opened up a bit more in these last however many games. I've lost track of even what point in the season we're at, but these last games, I think that they're going to be very telling for how AVP can perform in the future as an offensive play caller. Because if the offense looks how it did in the first few weeks, I would say that I would not be surprised to see him out the door at the end of the season. But if they can continue some of the momentum that they've picked up, I know they've still been losing games, but the offense has looked better. If they can kind of continue that momentum, I think there's a chance that he sticks around for at least another season.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, it he yeah, you're right. He has gotten better throughout the past couple games. I do agree with that, but I still yeah, obviously there's going to be things that he can work on and adjust. He's a brand new offensive coordinator with a brand new head coach, brand new quarterback. Like everyone's new here.
Yep.
So I'll give him that. But like aside from AVP, he's not the only guy that didn't help us this game. It was
Mhm.
also our pass rush that I didn't really like. Barmore, we're not gonna expect to see the Barmore that we saw last year. So I'm not mad that Barmore didn't play too good because he just dealt with blood clots and
Barely even practiced before that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah.
so I'm not I could care less about that.
Mhm.
So like but the banged up offensive line for the Rams, I expected much more pressure to the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Um, but I could get away from that topic because that's something that we'll see good days of that and we'll see bad days of that. I mean, we got 9 sacks the day before or the week before, so I'm not gonna say that our pass rush is bad or our pass rush isn't working because it is. It's just we couldn't get it going that game.
Yep.
Um, I'm I think I want to blame this loss on both the coaching staff. Not blame the loss, but it's just another loss that impacted the coaching staff, I guess.
Yeah.
We just can't adjust to the game plan. The motioning with Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup and all the receivers, we couldn't really adjust to that, and injuries, we're starting to not adjust with that. So we're getting our Monday game plan or Tuesday game plan, whatever, and sticking with that all week and not looking at the Rams injury report or looking at film with the Rams. I mean, we definitely are, but you know what I mean. Um, but I think that's all I really want to say with the Rams and Pats. I mean, Del Pettis on Puka. Stafford definitely saw that and
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I'll throw to him." Undrafted free agent on Puka, one of my best receivers.
Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the day, the Rams are a good team. Two great pass catchers, a veteran quarterback who's played played good this season. A good offensive line, good defense, good all around team. So I'm not too mad about this loss, but I think it was one that we could have prevented.
Yeah. I agree.
Moving on, we can go to one of some headlines that have been happening lately.
Go for it.
Cole Strange back at practice. He's only taking center reps. We've heard that David Andrews is helping him with this, despite him being on IR out for the season. Cole Strange hasn't seen the field all season. What are your thoughts on him, the guard, going to center with David Andrews out?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't totally surprise me. I was honestly pretty open to it a few weeks ago when that idea had kind of came up from I forget who had
I
said
think it
it,
was Mayo. I think it was
but
Mayo.
yeah, it might have yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Mayo said that. It makes complete sense. Strange, I believe, played or at least repped at center a little bit in the Senior Bowl, and I think he also did a bit in college at Chattanooga, although I could be wrong about that. But I am pretty sure that he at least took some reps there while he was at the Senior Bowl. So it makes sense to me. I would say that although maybe it hasn't looked this way going into the season, the Patriots offensive guard room looked pretty solid. I mean, City So hasn't really lived up to expectations this year, but he was supposed to be a pretty good piece. Mike Onwenu has kind of played everywhere, but at guard, he was supposed to be a top tier guy. Didn't really expect we would even see Cole Strange at all because uh, I wouldn't have anticipated David Andrews getting injured for the year. But once he went down, it kind of made sense to let Cole Strange get some of those reps once he comes back from injury. Again, that's what they're doing. I stand with it. I like the idea. I mean, get him reps everywhere. Because really the Patriots need help everywhere on the O line. But overall, I do like the idea of getting him some playing time at center. It is tough because Strange, well, for a couple of reasons. Really, Cole Strange hasn't been great, but I thought that he was good enough last year at guard. So especially towards the end of the year, and or well, he was still playing at the end of the year, and to kind of kick him out of that spot, move him to center where he might not really have a future there for this team. I mean, David Andrews likely to be back next season unless he retires.
Yeah.
Uh, Potentially Jake Andrews, who also is dealing with an injury, but once he's back, I would anticipate him taking over that center position. So Cole Strange kind of like a rental in the center spot for now, assuming that's where he plays. But if not, just hoping that he can adjust back to guard because the Patriots will need the help there. Really, all the help that they can get, and that's about it.
Yeah, something could change depending on, who we draft, either whether it's Will Campbell. We'll get into that a little later. But Mike Onwenu could get moved back. David Andrews could retire. I mean, hopefully not, but he could.
Mhm.
So that's always a possibility. So um like next year wise, not really sure what it's gonna look like, but this year I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to put Cole Strange in, try it out because I like Ben Brown. I like the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
I like the energy he brings. He's some guy that we saw mid-season just come in 4 days. He had to practice and then game time. I like that about him. Showing up and getting ready. So I don't know. Maybe we can utilize him a little, even if Cole Strange does come back. But
Yeah.
um, another headline: Jabril Peppers' his court case was on Friday. I'm not going to get into like all detail about that whole crime and stuff, but um, football wise, his next court date's late January, so I'm assuming he'll likely be out for the season.
Yeah.
which, it's a loss that it could be a blessing in disguise. We could be seeing more of Del Pettis, more reps of him, and hopefully get him involved. Not involved, but because he's involved right now, but get more reps for him and maybe maybe get him a little better because I like Del Pettis. I think he's a great safety. He shouldn't have been an undrafted free agent. I think Kyle Duggar coming back last week might have hurt him a little bit, and I mean, based off just watching, I haven't watched film on that game, but just watching, it looked like Kyle Duggar back kind of hurt our defensive backs, but at the same time, we don't really know because it could have just been a bad game. So
Mhm.
we might figure out more this game,
Yeah.
but we just can't forget we're missing a lot of players in the defense, and we have to adjust. And that's kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier, that our coaching staff just isn't adjusting to these, either quick second gotta adjust plays, audibles, or week to week adjustments with injuries and all that stuff. So, or in this case, like crime or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, but want to go to the injury report for I'll pull that
Sure.
up.
Yeah, go for it.
So Patriots have Christian Barmore, he's questionable. That's
Yep.
non-injury related. So he didn't practice on Friday. He practiced on Thursday, did not practice on Wednesday. Kyle Duggar, he is questionable with an ankle injury, limited all 3 days of practice. Anthony Jennings, questionable, limited all 3 days of practice. Vidarian Lowe, who did not practice on Wednesday and was limited on Thursday and Friday, is also questionable.
Mhm.
Marte Matpu is questionable. Cole Strange, limited all 3 days. He's questionable. I doubt he'll play.
I believe
Maybe he will.
he I don't think he can play.
Oh, he can't.
He wasn't activated to the
Oh,
roster.
that's right. Yeah,
So, yeah, Cole
yeah, that's right.
Strange, I guess not officially out, I guess, technically, his
Well,
designation isn't out, but he's out. He cannot play.
yeah. All right. Um, wait, can he get activated before the game or?
I don't
Oh no,
believe
they don't.
so.
They have to have their final 53 like Saturday. That's why we elevated those two guys today.
Yeah, I think
All right.
so. I
Yeah.
don't think they could because I know I saw someone else post it too. So, yeah, I do not believe that, Cole Strange is able to play this week.
Okay. Keon White, questionable, limited all 3 days. Dietrich Wise didn't practice first 2 days, limited on Friday. He's questionable. Christian Gonzalez had an injury, and I'm assuming in practice on Thursday, which made him
Mhm.
limited on Friday. So if he doesn't play, that would game changer. But he
Yep.
might just be covering the wide receiver 3 anyway. So,
No,
and then
he's Tyreek's kryptonite
yeah,
though,
yeah, he'll
so
be on Tyreek. He'll be on
yeah.
Tyreek, hopefully. Oh yeah, he will. Sion Taki, questionable, but he was full all 3 days of practice.
Mhm.
Christian Ellis, he'll be good. So everyone else is fine. So I mean, Barmore, he didn't practice Friday. I doubt he'll play. So um,
Yeah, but it said non-injury related, right? So,
yeah, or other.
if
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
it's probably just, like, load management pretty
Hmm.
much.
All right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not 100% sure, but,
No, you're probably
uh,
right.
my guess is that they just don't want him they're still trying to ramp him up.
Yeah.
I know he's played last week, but he was obviously on, like, a pitch count there, so,
Yeah.
yeah, my guess is it's just kind of a load management type of thing, still trying to get him ramped up, and I think he'll play. I mean, if it's a non-injury designated, uh, thing, and since he made the trip to Miami, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't play.
Yeah. Jacqueline Roy. Is that how you pronounce it? I've never been able to pronounce it.
I
What do you know?
believe so.
Is
I'm
it
not
Jacqueline?
100% sure.
he's out with the neck
Mhm.
injury. So he was out last week too. So I've liked how he's been playing lately though. He's been pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and with him and Barmore together, I'm excited for that.
Yep.
Because Roy's young. I think he's like, isn't he like 24 or something?
I can check, but that
I think he's
sounds.
I think he's somewhere around there.
He is 24.
24, yeah. So he's young. So Barmore's probably around there too. So they'll be
Mhm.
fun to watch. Him, Keon White, those guys will probably be around for a while. That's probably all the injuries that Christian Gonzalez. We don't know much on him on his injuries. That hasn't really been mentioned much. But
I'd assume he plays. I mean, again,
yeah,
if he made the trip, then
yeah.
it would. I'd have to assume that he'll play.
Kendall Fuller, cornerback for the Dolphins, is out. Teron Armstead, questionable. That's big.
Yeah,
And then
that's
that's about it. But yeah, and Isaiah Wynn is also questionable.
Patriots legend Isaiah Wynn.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be wrong. Um
That's that
Teron Armstead,
2018 draft class, the legendary Isaiah Wynn, Sony Michel duo.
that was so he won a Super Bowl with us then.
He did. Like I
Um
said, Patriots legend.
yeah. When did he leave? Was it like
20 I have his thing pulled up right now. 2023.
oh
He signed on a 1-year deal in 2023 with the Dolphins, and then he re-signed.
yeah. I wish we still had him. But Teron Armstead, he'll be if he's out. I don't know. He didn't practice all 3 days, so
Yeah, I believe he was
that
out last week as well, and didn't
was he.
practice at all last week either. I mean, it really could go either way, but I would think that he probably won't play. Seems like that's kind of how it's shaping up to be, but I mean, the Dolphins need a win this week to keep any hope alive that they can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
They cannot lose this game. Uh, like this game is quite literally like jobs on the line. Because I mean, what's their current record?
4-6.
4 and
They're
6.
not in the
Yeah, so
AFC.
drop to 4 and 7. I know they have a few more really difficult teams on their roster as well, and some cold games. Like I believe they play the Packers in Lambeau. With how the Dolphins play in not warm conditions, that'll be especially tough. Uh, this is a must-win game. There's going to be a huge difference for them between 4 and 7 and 5 and 6. So jobs could be won, or I guess not won, but jobs could be kept or lost based on this game. Because if they lose and they kind of just keep plummeting down the AFC rankings, then people are going to get fired there.
Yeah. Um, Tua's job could be in stake, whether it's because of injuries, concussions, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they. I mean, I don't know the contract exactly, but it's
Me either.
probably pretty
Yeah,
difficult to get out of that contract this early into it. If it was
yeah,
in maybe in 2 years, they could, but this year I highly doubt it.
yeah. Mike McDaniel could. I don't think he's that bad, but
Yeah, but they don't perform great against good teams, and he is. I don't know if I'd say on the hot seat, but he is fighting for his job.
yeah,
If they finish what they're 4 and 7 right, or
4-6.
6 right now.
Yeah,
I mean, if they finish 6 and 11, or maybe if they finish 6 and 11, I think he's on the way out. If they finish 7 and 10, I think it could go either way.
yeah. They faced back in week 5. We lost, but it was on a call that was questionable. It was Polk's catch in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
I just looked at that play so many times to see what my thoughts were, but at the end of the day, it came down to the rule book, and
Yep.
that was not a catch.
It's always been a rule.
Yeah,
However stupid it may be, it's always
that
been
was
the rule.
stupid.
Yeah.
Um, but we have lost things since then and gained
Mhm.
them. We got Barmore, we have Drake May now.
Yep.
Not like we didn't have him then, but he wasn't playing. But we lost Peppers, and we
Yeah.
lost David Andrews that game. I think it was.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean there have been so many injuries with this team. It kind of goes without saying, but uh I mean look at going into the season, your top 7 ranked Patriots and probably 5 of them have uh either been ruled out for the season with an injury or has kind of been dealing on and off with one, like Kyle Duggar, uh, or got arrested. So
yeah,
it's it has not been great. Honestly, it is in a way other outside of Drake May, it has been everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
yeah.
Uh, and I thought that was the case last year with just performing poorly. This year, it's the case with just everyone is hurt.
hmm Yeah, and it's not like we can like tank or anything because like everyone's been talking about that. Like, why don't we just tank and get a good draft pick? Well,
No team
that
tanks.
we've been yeah, and we've been so worried about Drake May's development and growth, and now we're just gonna tank. Like
Yeah.
no, I don't
Well,
we wouldn't, but it's like
no team. Well, I shouldn't say no team, but 99% of very, very bad teams don't tank and never will tank because
yeah,
their job's on the line.
and
Gerard
we're not
Mayo,
bad enough.
yeah, well, that, but also Gerard Mayo, if he has 2 or 3 years like this one, do you think he's going to still have a job? Probably not. Same with the rest of the coaching staff. They are not tanking because if they do tank and they tank maybe for 2 years, they're not coaches. They are or well, they are coaches, but they're not just coaches. They're people who have jobs. And if you do poorly at your job, whether it is NFL coaching or uh your office 9 to 5, if you do poorly in that work, you will be out the door. Elliot Wolf, if he drafts poorly, or I guess if the Patriots are playing poorly, even if he constructs a very good roster, he will be out the door. Look at Joe Douglas, for example. I mean, he drafted Brees Hall, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, among others, but Jets play poorly, he's gone.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
Patriots players and veterans. I mean, if they you're when you're tanking, obviously people are going to be playing worse than they can. Uh, if let's say for example Jonathan Jones, right? He's been with the Patriots his whole career, a bit of an older guy. Let's say in 2 years, let's say he resigns after this year, on a 1 or 2 year deal, and he still wants to play, but teams are seeing like, oh, the Patriots are doing poorly. Jonathan Jones hasn't been playing like he had been in the years past. If that's because of a tank, teams won't really care. They're just going to see Jonathan Jones isn't doing good. We're not going to sign him. So again, whether it's the coaches, the front office, or the players, they're not just these NFL figures. They are real life people with their jobs on the line. Where if you tank, you are going to be out the door just as quickly as you came in there.
Yeah. Um. Sorry.
No
Um.
worries.
There's I don't know like tanking, stupid idea and all that, but that all like I've gotten so many people just telling me, why don't we just tank? Why don't like it's like no, we don't tank. We're a professional football team trying to win games, and
Exactly.
not just having the rookie quarterback with us, but like you said, like jobs are on the line. So tanking, that's out of the picture.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? I looked at some insights, and Gonzalez in week 5 lined up on Tyreek Hill 21 of 29 was routes and allowed 2 receptions for 34 yards and 5 targets.
Yeah.
Which he's there. Gonzo's faced Hill twice and he's locked him up.
Yeah.
So
And
I love
also,
seeing the matchup.
yeah, and he had that pick. Well, first he had the pick obviously in his rookie year, but also when they played the Dolphins earlier
The
this
diving,
year,
yeah, the
he
diving.
had that pick on OBJ. So
Yeah, that was sick.
he's he always comes out a little bit against the Dolphins, and obviously it would be a huge loss for the Patriots if they lose Christian Gonzalez for tomorrow, because I really don't see a way that they win this game without having Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah. That's we need him. Tua's 6-0 in his career against the Pats. I think it could change. I
Hate it.
think it can be 6-1
I hope
because
so.
Tua's not that good of a quarterback. He's like the Dolphins aren't that good of a team. They have Tyreek Hill. They have
Waddle.
Chop Robinson, who's
Yeah, Chop.
no, they have a good defense, but like offensively, they're just I don't know. They have they're a good team. Sorry, but like
Yeah.
looking back at it, they have a good team. But
On paper, yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
they've been
nothing we
stalling
can't
a
beat.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. We can beat them. And with Jacoby Brissett in, and we lost. What was it? I'm not gonna be able to
It
remember the
was
score on the top of
close.
my head,
Yeah.
but it was one possession. Um, so like we we can win this game with Drake May, and that would be a huge confidence booster to go in, win this game, and then go face the Colts, who we could also beat. 2 tough games, but 2 games that we could win. So the
Yep.
Patriots are unpredictable. They always will be. But who are I'm gonna do 2 guys that you think will have a good game this week, and then score predictions, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
I'll go. Might be a little bit of a low hanging fruit because we just talked about him. But if he plays, I think I gotta go Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Again, I don't even really have to explain it much because 30 seconds ago we were talking about it. But I he always shows out, shows up and shows out against the Dolphins, and I think that he, again, assuming he plays, is in for a huge game. Other than that, I guess I gotta go with Keon
Yeah.
White. Uh, if
He was good
if
against Miami
yeah,
last game.
if Teron Armstead is out, which seems like he could be, probably like 50-50 chance, Patriots are going to need to get to the quarterback, and that will all start with Keon White. So those are my 2. Those are also both completely relying on injury
Yeah.
situations to go
Both
to swing in
questionable.
the Patriots' way. Yeah, for the Patriots to get their best player playing despite his injury, and for the Dolphins to get one of their best players not playing because of his injury. So uh that again, those really could go either way. And tomorrow at 11:30 or noon, we could look back at this and think, wow, Zach was a complete idiot because Christian Gonzalez isn't playing and Teron Armstead is. But those are the 2 that I got, because I just I think that the situation uh is in their favor if Keon White gets to go up against a backup lineman, and if Gonzalez, whatever it may be, he's always on something for these Dolphins games. So if he can continue that, the Patriots should be in a good place. As for score predictions, I have it pretty low scoring. Uh probably lower scoring than I should have it. And I do have it going the Dolphins' way, but really, I think it is a complete flip of a coin. Uh, I had 17-14 Dolphins, but
That's fair.
I could see it going really either team's way, and I could also see the score being uh somewhat significantly higher than that.
Yeah. Um, as far as the two defensive guys, already have a feeling that Gonzo's gonna have a good game, so I'm not gonna really be watching him too
Mhm.
much because I don't think we'll be able to. I don't think we're gonna see him that much, or hopefully we don't anyway. Because if we don't see him, then we don't see Tyreek, which means we don't see the ball. Um, which means we don't see numbers. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm definitely gonna go Keon White. Teron Armstead is probably in the hands of Tua's career with Keon White, if he plays or not. Because all it takes is one hit on Tua from Keon White for him to never see the field again. But I'm gonna go Keon White there. I'm with you there. Number 2. I want to go Drake May, but I don't want to be like basic. But
Just do it.
I'm
Do it.
gonna do it. Drake May. I'm going um Keon White, Drake May for my 2 guys I'm gonna watch because this is a big game for Drake May. His second game versus the Dolphins. He's seen how they've played.
Mhm.
But last time he got to watch it all. Now he gets to play it, and now he knows how they play, how they are. And I think it's going to be a great game as far as score predictions. I'm going with the Patriots. I have that feeling like I do every week that we could win, but this is just a different one. So,
Yeah.
um, turn like I said earlier in the week, turn up the heat in the bubble, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Dolphins 10, Patriots 17. So
Mm,
hopefully Joey Sly gets 1 field goal and Drake May throws for 2 touchdowns.
yeah. That would
That's about it.
hey, whatever it takes, right?
Whatever it
A win
takes,
a win is a win, whether it's a 50-40 win or a 17-10.
or 3
Win
nothing.
is a win. Yeah, or 3-0.
Yeah. Yep. A win is a win, and I'm hoping to see Jalen Polk step it up a little bit because I have faith in him. I think he's not. I don't think he's a bad receiver. I just think mentally something's going wrong, but I wanna see him play good too.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, that's about it. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
I think I'm all set.
All right. Once again, make sure to go follow Pats.today on Instagram and check out all his work, and then Patriot Focus on Instagram. Thanks to whoever is listening today. Um, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you for joining today.
Of course, no problem at all.
All right.